So while you've been in town visiting, what have been your couple of favorite stops and what have been your couple of favorite pours at the festival today?
Well, we've both been kind of flying in kind of short term, so we've been moving along. My favorite stop recently has been the White Castle. You know, we live out in the mountains, so we don't have any fast food out there, so I overindulged last night. It was really good.
Cheers.
You've stumbled on into the Tap Takeover Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Tap Takeover Podcast, episode 40. Microphones smells like a beer fest. I'm Alex, here with Andy. How you doing?
It's pretty good, Alex. It was a pretty epic event.
Yeah, we are here in the Solid Non-Fail studio to tell you a little bit about it before we get right into the interviews proper. Andy, we had a real special guest on this one. Why don't you tell us about Mike Zoller?
Sure. We had the Chicago editor for PorchDrinking.com. Pretty big beer blogger from the Chicago area who helped us make some introductions of people we might not have known at the festival, and also sat in and on a couple of the interviews we did at the festival.
Yeah,
So,
I thought he had some really great questions. You know, he really added a lot to those interviews, which was fantastic. So, Mike, we look forward to working with you. Also, great interviews with just breweries from across the country. It's amazing how much reach Mikerphone has. You know, Mike Palin and Mike and Kyle, the guys from Mikerphone, they do a fantastic job. They were absolutely fantastic hosts for this event. And I'll tell you, some amazing breweries came out for this thing. Andy, do you have any favorite beers from the event that you could tell our listeners about?
well, on the stout side of things, Alex, obviously barrel-aged Imperial Smells Like Bean Spirit. It was an absolutely phenomenal beer. If you get the chance to get your hands on some, definitely take the opportunity. Let it warm up a little bit as it gets way more complex the warmer it gets. The barrel-aged Karma, the Henna Karma from Moore, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, the barrel-aged henna, yeah. The barrel-aged henna from Moore, they're calling it Karma, and that should be released during Chicago Beer Week.
Yeah, within the next couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, that should be a really, really fun one. I thought it was fantastic. My first opportunity to try the henna brand, it's gotten a lot of hype. You know, on the secondary market, some of these bottles are going for crazy amounts. It's really good. That's all I could say. I'm not sure it's worth the secondary market, but it's really, really good.
And then I'd have to go, obviously, Jay Wakefield sent a couple of barrels there, and that's the ticket. You know, I'm glad I got to taste that ticket because it was fantastic. And as far as IPAs go, there were so many good ones. I think one of the ones that stood out the most for me was from Windmill Brewing, and that was the Requiem for a Meme. It was triple hazy milkshake mango IPA, clocking in at over 11%, and it was delicious.
It was big. It was a big boy, but it was really smooth, like dangerously smooth at that kind of high alcohol percentage. And it's the first time I came across some of these New England style IPAs at that high alcohol. Still fantastic. I have no complaints there. A couple of favorites of mine, Bearded Iris from down in Nashville. I had heard about them, heard about their New England style hazy IPAs. They lived up to the hype. They lived up to the hype big time. And another favorite of mine, Noon Whistle, broke out their Gummy Apocalypse, which is a really fantastic beer. I'm all about these gummy beers right now, Andy. Every time that you run down near the Chicago area, I'm always having you pick up a 4-pack for me. Just really, really fun stuff. And one of the fun parts about meeting all these different brewers is sometimes they send you home with a little beer. So as we do here on the podcast, we've got a little live tasting for you. Andy, why don't you tell us about this beer?
So we were lucky enough to be able to bring home Imaginary Time, which is a double dry hop New England IPA from Barntown Brewing out of Des Moines, Iowa. You'll hear an interview with us with these guys in this episode. And I just had mentioned to them, I believe, post-interview that I had heard of this beer that they had here before, and I couldn't wait to come try it. And not only did I get to try it there, they sent us home with a bottle for the tasting. So first thoughts on Imaginary Time, Alex?
Well, let's cheers it up here.
Cheers.
It's delicious. That's my first thought. It's got that big rounded quality, the nice mouthfeel.
Super soft mouthfeel.
The hop flavors are coming in nicely. I mean, it's a big boy. It's coming in like concrete. It's very thick.
But it's still just as juicy and soft as a 6%er.
Absolutely.
Coming in at over 9.
They're doing some good things in Iowa. That's all I know.
I tell you, you're driving through, Iowa, and you have to go through Des Moines. Definitely make Barntown a stop.
So can't wait to hear from those guys. Can't wait to hear from all these brewers. And I think some of these brewers made it real easy to do the beer news this week. Spoiler alert, there will be no beer news. Tell us why, Andy.
We're going to get right into the interviews here in a minute, but when we talked to Mike, he thoroughly covered all the collaborations that he's going to be doing this week with brewers that were in town for Smells Like a Beer Fest. And even started a couple days beforehand. I did a couple of collaboration beers beforehand. And kudos to Mike, 'cause, I mean, this is how he makes these connections with breweries all over the country. And, there's breweries that demanded to be a part of this event from all the way out on the West Coast.
Yeah, he's got an amazing reach. I can't wait to see what some of those collaborations produce. Also, we're going to get a lot of beer news from a lot of those other breweries. Our gotcha journalism tactics were in full effect, so we've got a lot of breaking news. I think one of the most fun interviews that we did the entire day was with the School of Rock. They were the band that was on hand, and we're talking like 6th, 7th, 8th graders, into high school a little bit, and a fantastic band director. What was your impression of these kids?
Technically there was two of them. It was School of Rock Chicago, and I believe it was School of Rock Oak Park. And they each did 2 sets, full band switches, and these kids just tore it up. They were absolutely phenomenal. There was points here in the festival when just solid, awesome rock songs that you would love, where everyone just stopped and watched these kids because they were that good. We're from Wisconsin, the land of the church festivals. These kids would have put bands at church festivals to shame.
Absolutely. They brought the youthful enthusiasm that an amazing event, amazing beer fest like this needed. I thought they did a great job. And it's really fun to hear them talk about what the experience is like for them. They're just starting out, they might be famous musicians one day. We don't know. But it was really fun to listen to these kids talk about what they're doing.
And they absolutely they brought down the fucking house when they closed their set with Sabotage from the Beastie Boys.
You can't
absolutely
close it
ridiculous. I think I was standing next to the head brewer from Outer Range. He's like, "Do you believe this shit? This is ridiculous." I'm like, "Yeah, this is awesome." It was an amazing event with great music, couple great food trucks, the best amazing variety of beer that you could ever dream of.
Yep. Great hosts, great volunteers. It was a magical day, and I think it's time to get into it. There's not going to be a conclusion on this one, so it's going to go straight from the last interview into no more beer. I hope you guys enjoy.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, Alex and Andy here with the Tap Takeover Podcast, speaking with the man himself. Mike, this has got to be a little overwhelming for you. You've got a line around the block. We're a half hour away from opening. Tell us what you're feeling right now.
Man, before I came over here, I just had to wipe away some tears. It's incredible. It's incredible that all these people have come out, the brewers that we've come, donated what they donated. It's phenomenal, and it shows the respect that this industry has and the support it has from fans and brewers alike. So if you see me here at the fest today, you're gonna see me crying a lot, because this is just, it's super, super cool. It's the fruition of everything that we've worked on over these years, from home brewing to shadowing breweries to now having our own brewery. It's kind of, this is who we are, and this is what we want to do. We want to share the love and share the beer. This is an awesome day, and we hope to do another one next year. Probably somewhere else, because we've just run out of room here, but it's a good problem to have. So
tell us about the star of the show today, the barrel-aged Imperial Smells Like Bean Spirit. We've been waiting, since you guys told us you were putting it in the barrels.
Yeah.
We've been waiting to try this one. What can we expect when we first taste it?
So, this is our first real barrel-aged beer out of here, at least whiskey barrel-aged beer out of here, and we really want with our barrel-aged program to let the barrel shine. Obviously, the base beer is there, but we want the barrel to kind of bring the beer to a new life. So we didn't try to, amp up anything to make it be bean spirit, because then that takes away from the barrel. So we made the base beer, we let it sit in the barrels for about 9 months, and they're Heaven Hill barrels that we got actually directly from Goose Island. So we all know that Goose Island's barrels, produce really, really great stuff. So we were happy that they had some extras that just came freshly dumped from Heaven Hill. So we took those, used them, and when we first pulled the beer out, it was just this insanely layered beer with marshmallow and vanilla and oak and booze. Once we got it in the tank, that's when we added the rest of the maple syrup and the rest of the coffee. And as it sat for the week that I had to sit in condition, the beer really came together. When you come to it, I highly recommend drinking it warm because that's where all the things shine on it. But it's coffee on the nose, and then it's chocolate and marshmallow and brownie and oak and booze and oak and a little bit more chocolate and then maples on the back end. And it's layered. It's pretty complex. Like I said, drink it warm and let it open up, and we're really, really happy with it. And we're excited, for us being this is the first one. We've got 6 more beers and barrels that we'll be coming out with throughout these next few months. So we're really happy with how we're teeing off our barrel age program.
So before you kick this off, any words to your rabid fans who are already lined up down Garlish and around the block?
About the fest today, I would just say, have fun, be safe. This isn't a race. This is beer, and just appreciate all these crazy cool breweries who have come out here from. We got some from Oregon. We got some from Florida. It's cool. And then if you want a sneak peek, we're going to be releasing barrel aged softly spoken lies in the next month, right around Craft Beer Week, Chicago Craft Beer Week. So yeah, that's a fun little teaser for everybody. We're working on that one. We're going to get it out of the barrels soon and get it all treated up and ready to go.
So with all the amazing brewers in town, I'm sure you guys took advantage and have been doing some sweet collaborations. Can you tell us about any of those?
Yeah, that's the fun thing about having a festival and bringing a bunch of breweries in town is that you got them to come in and they want to be around and stay a few days. So we kicked off the week with a collaboration with Windmill. Yesterday, Friday, we brewed with Bearded Iris, which is a really fun beer. It was the Portillo's-inspired cake shake stout. On Monday, we're brewing with Great Notion. We're doing a peanut butter and marshmallow stout with them. And then I head down to Nashville shortly after that to go brew with Southern Grist. Come back for a few days, then I fly to Copenhagen for CBC, and then do a collaboration with Amager. Come back for a week, and I fly back down to Miami to brew with J. Wakefield and Civil Society. And that finishes out my May, which is crazy. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. And we actually have a lot of breweries coming through the tail end of May. We've got Finback coming in. We also have Pulpit Rock coming in, and then a few other ones that we're working on finalizing the dates. But a lot of collabs coming up, and it's fun. We always have a good time meeting breweries at our fests, and we've just said, hey, let's link up, either your place or our place. And when we try to do collaborations here, we really want the other brewery to let their style shine. So we don't want to just say, all right, here's how we make a beer, let's do it. I want them to kind of be like, here's some things that we do, let's try it. And so a lot of the ones that are coming out of here have been driven by their thought and their personality, and we just let them know what works and doesn't work on our system, and we go from there. And then when I go down and brew with them, I usually influence that there. So then, as a consumer, when you go to try these collabs, you get to experience that other brewery. I think that's kind of fun.
Well, it sounds like you are a busy man, and we appreciate you giving us a little bit of time. It was amazing sitting down with you and Kyle and Mike, for our big interview. Our listeners can go back and listen to that. Mike, thank you so much, and enjoy your day.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate all the support. So,
all right, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, Alex and Andy here from the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we are speaking with
Mike Zoller from porchdrinking.com.
So, Mike, you reached out to us and kind of listened to some of our stuff, gave us some honest feedback, and we really appreciate it. Tell our listeners a little bit about porch drinking and what you guys do.
Yeah, so we're a national beer blog. We've been around for 6 or 7 years, depending on who you ask. But we have writers in every major market and even some smaller markets. And it's really just our job to tell the story of craft beer as it's been growing here, over the last half decade.
It's really fun that you reached out to us because I think we're doing some of the same stuff. We're preaching the message that these brewers are rock stars. They have stories to tell. What have been some of your favorite interviews over the years?
Let's see. So some of my favorite interviews, John Laffler from Off Color was actually one of my very first interviews. And John Laffler is a really great brewer, great guy, and it was just a little intimidating to walk into somebody who has so much respect in the industry. But he opened up and he gave a really great interview, so loved talking to him. Talked with Jim and Will from Revolution, and to get their insight into the industry, as they're one of the biggest craft brewers here in Chicago, was really great. So those are just a couple, but everyone's story is always different, and I think that when you talk to people who've just opened up, so talking with John from opening Outcry less than a year after he opens up, and just getting his insight into what it's like to break into this market and really try to break into this market and find yourself kind of competing against all the other breweries when they're not really competing, but they have to kind of get people to come in. And John has some amazing beer, and he's doing a great job over there on the south side.
So we're currently in the process of breaking into the Chicago market with our podcast. And you being the Chicago guy, you get to hit most of the festivals throughout the summer period and fall period and even winter. So for our listeners in Milwaukee, besides FOBAB, what are 3 of the 4 of the top festivals that they should be coming down here for?
Yeah, so Beer Under Glass kicks off Illinois Craft Beer Week, and that's absolutely one to come down for. It's usually on a Thursday. This year it's on a Friday with some changes to the week. So absolutely one of the best ones to come down there for. And then I would also recommend Saturday, May 5th, so it's actually a week from now, but it's the one at Soldier Field. It's a pretty cool one. You actually get to be on the field at Soldier Field, walk around, a lot of great brews. And then there's just a ton throughout the city in the summertime. There's the Chicago Ale Fest, which is at Buckingham Fountain, which is a very cool venue. And I think that's what kind of makes Chicago unique, is that you have these really nice venues. It's not just about the beer, it's about the sights you're getting, and seeing the city skyline as you drink a beer is just a really cool atmosphere.
And we're going to take a spin around and talk to some of these brewers. Tell us, you've kind of done a little scouting. What's some of the beers that you're most excited about trying?
I think the beer that I have to be most excited for is the beer that brought us all here today, and that's barrel-aged Imperial Bean Spirit from Mikerphone. I mean, from what I've heard, I have not had it yet, but the hype around it, the early tasting has been, it's excellent. The barrel has given it some really great characteristics. Obviously more with barrel-aged Karma or barrel-aged Henna, is going to have a lot of hype around it as well. I've had it before at FOBAB. I think this is actually a different, very, very excited for that. Then you have a lot of New England-style IPAs here as well. Weldworks is my absolute favorite brewery that's not from Chicago. Whenever I go out to Denver, that's where our blog is based. I always stop by and get some of their beer, or they send some to me in a crowler, which is great. I love Weldworks. And, you really can't do anything wrong here. There's a huge lineup. Try it all and have fun with it.
Cheers, Mike. Thanks for joining us. And for our listeners, Mike will be joining us through probably the majority of the interviews we do here today. So
I'll be around. Thanks, guys.
BEERU Beer Run.
All right, Alex here from the Tap Takeover Podcast, here with Andy, and special guest Mike from Porch Drinking.
Hey, guys.
And we're here talking with...
My name is Aaron Kiefner. I run our specialty beer program over at Revolution.
some of the fun stuff from Revolution Brewing. So we're here at it smells like a beer fest down here at Mikerphone in Chicago today, and we just wanted to know, so for our listeners going into your brewery for the first time, what can they expect?
You can expect, we're basically trying to have quite a diverse profile. Our big thing is we want to keep beer. We like to stay somewhat within traditional styles. You'll notice with our barrel program that we're doing a lot of beers that showcase the barrel itself and not really, we do add fruit into our beers and do things of that nature, but we're really just trying to showcase, the base beer itself and the barrel that it's put in if it's a barrel-aged beer.
So, and what will you be pouring here today? It smells like a beer fest.
So today we are pouring double barrel VSOJ Cherry Rye, which is our straight jacket, aged for 2 years. The second year in rye barrels with cherry puree added to it. And then we are also pouring Joie de Vie, which is a wine barrel aged wild saison that we did in collaboration with Whole Foods 2 years ago and just released last year.
Any plans to expand the Death Star line this year? You guys kind of went nuts last year, and it was amazing. Any plans for even more expansion?
Yeah, we do in fact have plans to not only expand distribution. Death Star, Straight Jacket, and Cafe Death will all see distribution this year at accounts. Also, I can tell you that while I won't say the number of barrel-aged beers, we will be releasing more barrel-aged beers this year than we did last year even.
What's it like to be at a festival such as this, where there's so many new breweries out here that have made such a splash in the market?
It's I will use the word it's overwhelming, but it's awesome. Like Chicago, I just had friends that came in to the city, and we went to a number of beer bars because they look at Chicago as one of the top places to be able to drink beer, and just the magnitude of breweries that are here is unbelievable. I mean, it's also, when we come to a festival like this, we got to bring our A game, because the thing you don't want to do is go back with a full keg. You want to go back with an empty keg.
Anything you're excited about trying?
I saw that Logsden is going to be here. I had no idea they were even a part of this. Love all their stuff. Also, Great Notion. Love Great Notion.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. We'd love to come out sometime and get a full interview with you guys.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you anytime.
Cheers. Man.
Alex here again with the Tap Takeover Podcast, here with Andy and Mike from Porch Drinking, and we're here talking with
John Brand from Outcry Brewing.
So John, tell us about your brewery. Our listeners coming in for the first time, what can they expect?
Yeah, sure. So we're a brewery, tap room, wood-fired pizza restaurant on the south side of Chicago. We're at 109th and Western. We've been open for a little under a year now. When you walk in, you're going to get a lot of innovative styles. We're focusing heavily right now on New England style IPAs, some milkshake IPAs, and we have a wood-fired pizza oven. So we're cranking out homemade, everything fresh, wood-fired style Neapolitan inspired pizzas.
What are you pouring today? What did you bring for the fine people?
So today we have we used our base Imperial stout recipe, and we threw a couple different adjuncts in it. One of them is a strawberry puree. So we have our dark pool Imperial stout with strawberry puree, and then we have our dark pool base Imperial stout with hazelnut.
You guys are coming up kind of on your first outdoor festival as a brewery, or outdoor festival season as a brewery. How many festivals are you guys going to be looking to pour at this year?
As many as we can get invited to. Obviously the exposure you get at these things is fantastic. Not only that, they're a ton of fun. You get to drink all the best beer in the Chicagoland area, and here actually some of the best beer in the country, because Mike's gotten a lot of folks flying in and traveling for this thing. So if anybody asks, we'll show up.
So what are you looking to try today here with all the fantastic beer?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't walked around and read all the signs, but of course I'm going to make my way over to Mikerphone, check their booth out. 18th Street's got a booth here. I'll probably make my way over there. More is here. Werk Force and Windmill. Hopefully Windmill brought their milkshake IPAs. I'd like to try a couple of those too.
So we're based out of Milwaukee. Just for our listeners, can you just tell us where you guys are located and what to expect the first time they walk into your brewery?
Yeah, sure. So we're located in the Beverly Morgan Park neighborhood of Chicago. It's on the far south side. We're 10934 Southwestern Avenue. It's about as far southwest in the corner of the city as you can get. Just if you're heading down from Milwaukee, you head right through the city. You come down the Dan Ryan, you get off at 95th Street, and we're a couple miles in.
Well, cheers. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Alex from the Tap Takeover Podcast, here with Andy and Mike from Porch Drinking. We're here at the Smells Like a Beer Fest down here in lovely Chicago, lovely Elks Grove, and we're speaking with
Adam from Maplewood Brewery.
So Adam, tell us about the brewery. What did you bring down to drink with us today?
Today I brought Morbidly Obese Pug, which is our double milk stout. We put coconut, so there's 200 pounds of coconut in this batch.
Holy shit.
We did 30 pounds of cocoa nibs and about 2 pounds of vanilla beans. Drinks pretty nice. It's about 9.5, 10%. I think it's edging closer to 10 if I had to crunch the numbers one more time, but it drinks dangerous. And then the other beer we brought is a one-off hazy IPA we did with mango, dry hopped with all Citra. And there's a Hallertau Blanc in the hot side.
So tell us where you're located and give our listeners kind of an idea what they can expect coming into your brewery.
Oh, for sure. We're in Logan Square in the city, in Chicago here. We just recently opened our tap room in December. So we've been around, we've been brewing and distilling for that matter for about 3 years. In the tap room, you can get 12 taps. We have beer and we have cocktails. All the cocktails are made with our own spirits. So we do rum, we do gin, and most recently we've finally released some aged whiskey. So we have that all for sale exclusively at the tap room. So we sell our whiskey, our aged whiskey in 375s, all really cool stuff. So if you're into brewing, we're kind of doing some brew mash bills, some beer style mash bills in the whiskeys. So we do Morbidly Obese Pug's the beer we have. We have a year-round called Fat Pug, which is our milk stout. So we have whiskey called Fat Pug, which is inspired by that same grain bill. So you get a lot of dark chocolate flavors in the whiskey. And when it came out of the barrel, we were like, it's like a raisin, like a chocolate raisin. I know that's a deep cut for a candy, but it's a good candy. And that's what the whiskey reminded me of. And that's in Chicago, we're the only distillery and brewery too, so it's kind of an experience you really won't get anywhere else in the city. We do have a slushy machine, so we have pina coladas and mudslides most of the time. We did a beer slushy last week with cherry wit we did, which was fucking amazing. So we're having fun, and it's a neighborhood vibe. The street's really kind of unassuming. It kind of dead ends because 90 cuts us off right there. We're at the end of the road, small Chicago-style like blade sign. When I say Chicago style, the old style signs at every bar. We kind of made our own version of that, and it's almost speakeasy style. You walk in, quiet neighborhood, and it's loud, raucous in there, and we're always having a good time. Always got fresh beer and whiskey.
The Juice Pen series has really taken off over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
What's it like to see that line become so popular in the city?
That's unbelievable, humbling, really. Because we're just brewing beer that we want to drink and that we want to make for our friends and for our fans and the people who drink our stuff every day, and we wanted to do something special. The fact that people caught on to that has just been unbelievable, and the numbers that we sell for Son of Juice, it's unbelievable. At a loss for words most of the time when I see the numbers. So it's really I'll say it again. It's been humbling. It's amazing to see people catch on to that stuff. I love it.
So before we wrap this up, with all the fantastic brews being poured today, what are you looking forward to trying?
We all got together last night, and we kind of just hung out and shared some stuff. So I had Casa Agria, which was unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to trying more of their stuff today. Of course, we're next to Mars. We're next to Moore, and Moore brought that barrel age, so we got to try that, right? And Logston Farmhouse Ales is directly next to us, and I fucking love their stuff. So, but no, I'm looking forward to just trying a lot of the stuff we can't get here. Cerebral from Colorado, stuff like that. ORC is a guy we met yesterday out in Colorado. Looking forward to trying that stuff too.
Thank you very much for your time.
Dude, no, thanks for grabbing me.
We'll be by for some samples too.
Thank you.
Alex here from the Tap Takeover Podcast with Andy and a special guest from Porch Drinking. We got Mike, and we were speaking with
Chad Beavers with Lil Beaver Brewery.
So Chad, tell us about the brewery. Tell us about some of the beers you brought to share with us today.
We're a small little craft brewery down in Bloomington, Illinois, about halfway between Chicago and St. Louis. We got about 500, 800 square foot tap room. We usually have 10 beers on tap in there all the time, and we like to focus on variety. So a lot of times if you come on a Friday or Saturday, you're going to see 2 to 3 different beers from the time you get there to the time you leave, and that's really what we strive for. We got a unique system that allows us to brew 2 different beers at the same time and allows us to crank out that variety. So what we brought today is we just opened up in October last year. Our tap room opened first of the year, and we've got to the point now where we're starting to empty some of the barrels that we filled right when we started brewing last year. So today we brought with bourbon barrel vanilla mon. So it's vanilla and cinnamon Imperial stout aged in a barrel. We also have our rye barrel Whole Lotta Wonderful, which is kind of our claim to fame. It's one of the beers that a lot of people got to know us from. I used to call it Liquid Mounds Bar, but we kind of got away from that when we opened the brewery, but gives you an idea of what the beer actually is. So the rye barrel character really comes through in that one pretty solid. We also brought a vanilla stout, a rye barrel aged Imperial stout with vanilla beans that were aged in the barrel with the beer, and then our strawberry Rainbows, which is a lactose hazy IPA with strawberries in it.
So for our listeners coming down for the first time, what can they experience just walking in?
Into our tap room, well, we've got, it's a warehouse, so it's pretty much what you'd expect, but we're pretty happy with the way we put it together. A lot of reclaimed wood. We built the whole entire place by ourselves. My business partner built the bar with his bare hands. My brother-in-law built the tables. So it's a pretty unique experience and just a nice wide open space, hanging lights out back, and it's just kind of what I wanted in a tap room. It's exactly what it is. So
You guys have some fantastic beers in a city that's really populated with really great craft beer. How does Lil Beaver stand out being so new and kind of get themselves a foothold in this industry here?
How do we do it, or how are we doing it?
Both.
Really, I guess what I would say is high quality product. And I was a beer geek for many, many years before I opened a brewery. So I brew what I like, and I know what I like. So there's some styles that you won't see us doing for a while, and that's because I feel if I don't like it, I can't make it. And so that's really what I'd say, makes me stand out or makes us stand out, is brewing what we do really, really good versus just, trying a whole lot of variety of different things.
So to wrap it up, with all the great beers being poured here today, what are you looking forward to trying?
Well, being situated right next door to Mikerphone, I can see at least 3 that I want to try right there. I'm always looking to try something new and unique, so I get ready to walk the line here and see what people brought with, and I get inspired by other breweries and stuff they do. And so that's really where a lot of my innovation comes from, is spark an idea from somebody else and just going with it.
Awesome, man. Cheers, and thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Alex and Andy here with the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we're speaking with
Sean Burns, at Moore Brewing Company.
So, Sean, you are a big man in town. The henna has been a wild success.
Yeah.
What did you bring to drink with us here at Smells Like a Beer Fest?
So today we brought, we were actually able to get some barrel-aged Karma, which was actually, this is the first time we're releasing it since Fobab, where we took Best in Show with this beer. And then DDH Loose Candies, which is kind of our flagship double IPA, if you will. It's kind of the most well-received IPA that we do at the tap room. So we're excited for both of them to be here. Hopefully everyone gets to try a little bit. I know it kind of went a little fast at Fobab, so some people missed out. So hopefully
I heard it was,
get a second chance
speed.
today. Yeah.
So tell us about that tap room. What can our listeners experience coming in for the first time?
Yeah, so we're full kitchen, and then we try to keep as much beer on as possible. That's one issue that we've been struggling with, that we've touched on a few times. But yeah, it's a full kitchen, so expect to come in, get a fresh beer. We always have some guest taps on, and then of course our own food. We try to rotate our food menu, just like our tap menu too. So
we are here today for the huge epic release for Barrel Aged Bean Spirit.
Yeah,
awesome. You recently broke some news.
Yeah.
Coming up during Chicago Craft Beer Week.
Yep.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about all that?
Yeah, so that was part of the reason why we were able to get some of the barrel-aged Karma on, because we racked a bunch of barrels last week, or this past week, and so we're going to do 3 releases, one on Friday the 18th of May, and then the 19th and the 20th, all different variants of henna. So yeah, we're really excited. We're just kind of getting things all kind of geared up and in motion and kind of ready to go. It's going to be crazy, but we're going to try to make it as smooth as possible. So, yeah.
So with all the great breweries pouring today, which ones get you excited?
I'm actually super happy that we're right next to Narrow Gauge. I haven't had a lot of time to walk around, but we're right next to Narrow Gauge, so I'm really excited to pick his brain and talk to him about what he's been doing down there. I know he's blown up with a style that I love, the hazy New England style, and I think he's doing them probably the best right now. I'd put him up in the top few in the country doing that style. So super excited to have him right next to us. It's kind of cool.
Well, hey, thanks so much, and we hope to come down and do a full interview with you guys one time.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks,
All
Sean.
right. Cheers.
BEERUN Beer Run.
Alex and Andy here with the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we're speaking with
Pete Faber from Barntown.
Cody Geyer from Barntown.
And Grant Brower, Barntown.
So tell us about the brewery, and tell us what you guys brought to pour for us today.
So we're in West Des Moines, Iowa. We're a brew pub. We brought a couple New England IPAs. We have a double New England IPA called Imaginary Time, and we also have Neon, which is a single New England IPA.
So for our listeners coming down to your brewery for the first time, what can they expect walking through the door?
They can expect a lot of barnwood. They can expect a lot of IPAs. We have 16 drafts that are on rotation pretty much at all time, ranging from Gozas, kettle sours, and IPAs, and golden ales. Kind of run a lot of different styles.
And with everybody, all the amazing brewers pouring today, what are you guys excited about trying?
Well, I'm drinking the barrel aged henna right now, so that's pretty good. And just honestly, I was in Chicago for a long time and had restaurants here, so I'm just kind of hanging out with some old friends. So it's kind of been nice to see some familiar faces. So.
How about you guys? What are you excited about?
I'm just excited about the festival and hanging out and just having a good time and drinking some good beer.
Yeah, same here. Excited to try everything that these guys have to offer and maybe get some new ideas of my own.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for spending a little time with us, and can't wait to come down and try you guys out.
Oh, yeah. Come see us.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Alex and Andy here from the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we're speaking with?
I'm Paul Kreiner with Noon Whistle Brewing.
So tell us about Noon Whistle. Tell us a little bit about the brewery and what you guys brought to try with us today.
Sure, we're in Lombard, Illinois, so we're not too far away from here. We concentrate on a little bit of everything, hop heavy. We also concentrate on some session and some sours as well. So we brought with us today a sessionable black sour with blackberries in it, and then we also brought our Gummy Apocalypse, which we just released Thursday of this week. So, which is a New England IPA.
So tell us about this this gummy style that you guys have come up with, because it's in the tradition of the New England style, but it's a little different as well.
Sure, yeah. Well, our grain bill is a little bit different with all of them. Our yeast that we use is a little bit different with them as well. I do like a little bit of bitterness, so there is some bitterness in there, which is probably a little bit against the traditional New England. But that's what I like, and it's what we like, so that's kind of what we do. But they're also very fruity, fruit forward, and hop heavy as well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So with all the great brewers here today, who are you excited to try?
Actually, who we're next to, Narrow Gauge. I'm pretty excited. Haven't had much of their stuff. Also, Second Shift Brewing. They do some phenomenal stuff. Pretty much everyone here is a great brewery. So we'll get around and we'll start drinking and have some fun with it.
So for our listeners, tell us where you're located and what they can expect walking through the doors for the first time.
Sure. Yeah, we're in Lombard, Illinois. So we're in between 355 and 294. So 25 minutes outside of Chicago. We don't have a big tasting room, but you'll be able to be right next to the brewing equipment when you are there. We're a pretty open brewery. You got to walk through the brew house area and everything to get to the bathroom. So you get to see, look, and look at everything. Don't touch anything, but you get to see everything. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, the music's starting, so I think that means the festival's about to get going. Thanks for spending a little time talking with us.
Time to party. Cheers.
We're back here at Smells Like a Beer Fest with the Tap Takeover Podcast. Andy and Alex here. And we have a special treat outside of the norm today from our usual craft beer podcast. We have the band from Smells Like a Beer Fest, School of Rock. And let me say, you guys are absolutely knocking it out of the park today. So just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I'm Kevin Decker. I'm the music director over at the School of Rock in Arlington Heights, just right down the road. So it's really nice to be able to bring a group of our students over here to this pretty sizable local craft beer fest. Let me pass the mic around to some of the band members.
Oh, hi, I'm Spencer. I play bass.
Hi, I'm Yannicka and I sing.
I'm Liam and I play guitar and sing sometimes.
I'm Joe and I play drums.
I'm Xander and I play drums.
I'm Zach, I play bass.
So what does a foundation like this mean to you as running it, and then you guys starting off in your musical career?
Well, as a musician myself, I really enjoy being able to help younger people find their passion in playing music. And this group of kids that we brought today is, I mean, you've seen them, it's pretty clear that the passion is there, and it's just a pleasure to be able to work with this group of kids. I don't know, what do you guys enjoy about it?
So I first joined School of Rock when I was actually in 7th grade and I'm a sophomore now. And in the beginning I was like a really shy, I kind of strayed away from the class, but after I got on stage it really actually helped with my anxiety and I made some of the best friends I could ever have.
I second this. I've also made friends that'll last a lifetime at the School of Rock. So
I mean, these guys are like my family. This is the third School of Rock I've done, and this community at Arlington Heights is super great. I've been in a couple bands with these guys. I just love the atmosphere. I love working with all these guys, and it really pushes me to get better as a musician.
I've been going to School of Rock for almost the past 3 years now, and when I first joined, I was super shy and didn't want to talk to anybody, but now I'm super outgoing and I have all these friends and it's great. We're all super close, like family, and yeah, it's just really cool to be around and it makes everything better.
I joined School of Rock about 2 years ago, and when I joined, I was so much different than who I am now. I've grown so much as a person and as a musician because of School of Rock, and I can't thank the instructors and the students enough for that. I made some great friends and had some great experiences, and I can't wait to continue my career as a musician.
Well, one of the things I love specifically about doing School of Rock is that before doing any of this, we were just a bunch of suburban kids who loved music, and then we came together and we had a joined passion for playing and listening to music that I personally enjoyed as well. So that was always really fun to do.
Yeah, seriously, between middle school, high school, you guys are out here melting faces. It's amazing to listen to you guys. So you guys have been doing this 4 years now. This has been a collaboration that you guys have been doing with Mikerphone. So, tell us about some of that experience, what the last 4 years have been like for you guys.
This is actually this is our first time being here at this festival. Chicago School of Rock has been partnering with them for the past few years, and they extended the invitation to us since we're right down the road. But playing all these local festivals, I think it's just a really great way to keep live music like in the community and keeping another generation playing live music out in the community. Because I mean, it's kind of sad how easy it is to see live music kind of start to die out from towns. It's just so easy today to just plug in and play from a computer and just kind of zone out, but the entertainment's good to go for the next 3 hours. So it's just really valuable, I think, to still have the live music performance experience. And it's great that so many local spots like Mikerphone are, they're valuing that just as much as they're valuing everything else that they're putting into something like today.
Well, hey, we appreciate you guys taking a little time during your break. We know you guys are going to be back at it with some more music for the rest of the fest. But thank you guys so much for taking some time for us.
Thank you. No problem, man. Stick around.
Thank you.
Alex and Andy here with the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we're speaking with
Mike Zoller from Windmill Brewing.
Awesome. So tell us where you're located. Tell us about your brewery a little bit.
We're in Dyer, Indiana. We're about 5 minutes south of Three Floyds. We focus a lot on New England's milkshake IPAs, fruited Gozas, fruited Berliners. We have a small sour program going, and we have an extensive oak fermentation program going on as well.
For our listeners coming down to Indiana for the first time and checking you guys out, what can they expect coming through the doors for the first time?
There's a friendly cat that roams our tap room named Luther that a lot of people love a lot.
What are you guys pouring today for everyone?
Today we have Memes and Dreams. It's our 7% milkshake IPA with mangoes. We also have Mem de la Creme. It's our 9% double milkshake IPA with mangoes as well. We'll have Requiem for a Meme. It's our 11% triple milkshake with mangoes. We have Barrel Aged 40 Hulking Giants, which is an Imperial milk stout that was blended between Journeyman and Four Roses barrels. And later on, probably in about 45 minutes, we'll tap Cerveza Muerte. It's a Mexican Imperial stout with caramel agave, cocoa nibs, ancho chilies, and Mexican vanilla beans.
That sounds amazing.
It is.
So, with all the other amazing beers here today, what's been your favorite so far?
There's a lot of really, really great ones. I had a fruited Berliner from Saint Laurent, which was out of this world. The color on it was beautiful, and the flavor was just out of this world. They're doing amazing stuff over there.
So we're here at the Smells Like a Beer Fest at Mikerphone Brewing. You guys have done a collaboration with Mikerphone. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we did a milkshake. It'll be a double milkshake IPA when it's done, when it's released. It's going to have passion fruit and apricots in it as well.
Well, that's fantastic, and we can't wait to try more of your beer once that goes on tap. Thanks so much for taking a little time to speak with us, and we can't wait to come down and maybe do a full episode with you guys.
Awesome, that'd be great.
Alex and Andy here with the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we're here with
Brandon Wright and Steve Wortendike from Werk Force Brewing Company.
Tell us about your brewery. What did you guys bring to try with us today, and just tell us a little in general about the brewery.
Yeah, definitely. So we're a 10-barrel brewery out of Plainfield, Illinois. Most of our beer sells out of our tap room. We don't really distribute that much, so it's fun to be out at these fests. Today we brought toasted coconut Sleepy Bear, which is one of our Imperial stouts that we toast shit tons of coconut and throw it in, which is awesome. And then we brought another special beer. One of our customers is a maple farm for producing maple sap for maple syrup. He gave us a bunch of extra maple sap that we actually used as our strike water in our hot liquor tank for a brew. So it's a brown ale that is 100% done with maple sap. Then we added more maple syrup in the fermenter, which gave it this really nice, rich, deep character. So pretty excited.
That's very fun. That coconut is amazing. What'd you guys do with that one? Because it's coming off just perfect.
So we move it from our regular kegs that have the Sleepy Bear in it, and we move it into a corny keg, a soda keg type keg with the coconut in it, and we leave it there for a couple days, and then we move it back to serve it.
We do toast all of our own coconut too, so it's all fresh. Usually the coconut's applied to the beer within like 1 to 2 hours of it being toasted. Once it cools down, it goes straight into the beer, so it's really fresh. It imparts an awesome, nice, toasty flavor to it.
Can you tell our listeners where you guys are located and what they can expect walking through the door for the first time?
So yeah, our location's in Plainfield. We're just a little bit like 2 blocks east of the downtown historic district. If you come out of Chicago, I-55, you basically get off at Route 126 within a mile and a half of the expressway. And then once you walk in the door, you'll be greeted with this warm, inviting tap room, all hand-built. Yeah, we actually have a homebrewing supply shop as well next door to us. We have a secondary tap room there. So we have kind of a couple different experiences when you come out and check it out.
So with all the fantastic beers here today, what's been your top 3 so far that you've tried?
Oh, God. There's so many good beers. You know what? I always say the first beer that's the best is the one that's usually in my hand, which at the moment I'm standing here and I don't have a beer in my hand, but, that's always my favorite. Actually, earlier we had some Hotel Lives from Hailstorm. That was amazing. But, Bearded Iris is rolling with some great beer. More is always, great. Tons of great beer floating around the fest.
Yeah, there's lots of great beers. Standouts, Jay Wakefield. Yeah, that was great. I had their stout. That was wonderful. There was a guava. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of these beers I'm not familiar with. It is overwhelming. But there was a guava beer that was amazing that I had. And then it's always just fun to talk to all the people side by side with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for your time, and we'd love to come down and get a full interview sometime.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Alex and Andy here from the Tap Takeover Podcast, and we're speaking with
Lee and Tom from Outer Range Brewing Company in Colorado.
Nice to meet you guys. So tell us a little bit about the brewery, and tell us a little bit about what you brought to pour today.
Yeah, for sure. So we specialize in IPAs and Belgians, and we're located up in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. We brought an IPA and a triple IPA today. IPA is watercolors, and triple IPA is a collab we did with Interborough out of Brooklyn called Mad Fat Steep.
So tell our listeners what they can expect coming through your doors for the first time, and where you guys are located.
We're right off the I-70 corridor, based out about an hour west of Denver, right in town of Frisco. They can expect a lot of dogs, mostly. We're dog friendly. We have an awesome atmosphere. We got live music going on time to time, and a board full of IPAs and Belgian ales, and we just really support local. A lot of traction coming through, like people coming through, like going through Casey and whatnot, and we have a good time. We brew a lot of fun beer, and we keep innovating, so it's good.
So tell us about Mikerphone. Have you guys have some experiences with collaborations? What brought you guys out today?
Yeah, so the Mikerphone guys came through and through to Colorado. We met them, had a great time. So I thought it'd be a great idea to do a collab. So we collabed with them at our spot out in Frisco for our year anniversary, which was just a couple months ago. We did a birthday cake IPA called Cake Plastic Trees. They came out and brewed that with us, and we just really like the guys, great guys, and the beers coming out of Mikerphone are just super fucking great. And so we're really happy to have them, and we're really happy to be here and pour at the fest and just hang out with them.
So while you've been in town visiting, what have been your couple of favorite stops, and what have been your couple of favorite pours at the festival today?
Well, we've both been kind of flying in kind of short term, so we've been moving along. My favorite stop recently has been the White Castle. We live out in the mountains, so we don't have any fast food out there, so I overindulged last night. It was really good. A lot of beers we had today. The boys over at Great Notion are doing great things. Really enjoyed the more beers as well. I mean, there's a lot of breweries that I haven't experienced as well that have just been really standing out. So it's been nice to see everyone kind of taking the New England style as well as. I've had some of the best barrel-aged stouts in my life here, especially coming from those guys over at Moore. It's been awesome. So yeah, I've been having a great time drinking some beers. So
it's one of the fun things about Beer Fest that guys from different regions get to try different beers from other regions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are having fun here, and we appreciate you guys taking a little time to talk with us.
No, we're having a blast, man. We appreciate you guys as well.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
No more beer.